ask you to coach me on that and break me out of the habit, because I don't want to keep doing that. So again, as an evaluator, you may want to approach the Toastmaster and ask them, is there something specific that you want me to look for? And usually you'll be able to say, yes, I have a tendency to look up at the ceiling a lot, or I have a tendency to put my hand in my pocket. I don't want to do that. Things like that. So it's always good as an evaluator to ask the speaker something specific that they're looking for. Okay. Ray mentioned using the manual. Right? The manual, every speech has specific objectives, 1 through 10 or whatever it is. So you can always use it as a guideline. Now, for some of the speeches that have 8 to 10 things to look at, can you cover those things? No. What's the best thing to do? What's a good way to do it? Provide the evaluation when you have 10 items to look for. Ray, you mentioned it.
Pick something that the person excels at, or something that the person can improve upon. Touch upon those points, but they'll cover every item like I do.
Right.
Normally, that's probably why I go. So touch upon the highlights of the criteria that
Right, you can't cover everything. You only have 2 to 3 minutes, so it's always good to pick something. What I do is I look at a key learning point. I like the way the speaker did this. And most of the people that are in a meeting that time has probably learned from this, what I call learning point. So that's what I do. I pick 2 to 3 things that I want to emphasize and amplify. Maybe one thing that the speaker really needs to work on, and I'll pick that as an opportunity for improvement. Again, we always want to finish in a positive, supportive manner. So always pick something that, again, the audience can best learn from. Okay, you're right. You can't cover everything, so this picture, pick 2 to 3 things that you can cover in that amount of time. Personalize the language. This is the key learning point number 3. I'm very sensitive. I'm probably the most sensitive person in this room. Some people may find that surprising, but I am. I don't like when someone says, you do this, or you do that. Maybe that's why, because I have 2 ex-wives. I don't know. You do this and you do that. So, personalize the language. What I do, since it's, in my opinion, my observation on the speaker, I use the word I. I like this. I prefer that you do this. I would recommend that you do this. I'd like to see you do that. That's what I do. So personalize the language. Sometimes a speaker doesn't have a manual to look at. Maybe it's a non-manual speech. What can you use? How can you frame your evaluation going out scripted? Something I learned from one of my favorite Toastmasters that's in Command Toastmasters. What I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. Just use those things. Remember that. If you have no manual to work off, no objectives, you can always use that framework. What I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. And that will help organize your comments and feedback for that speaker. Okay, I talked about language. I have some phrases that I've heard in this club. I'm going to put this up here. Spelling amnesty and clear writing amnesty. Oh, sorry. Okay, see, these are these phrases that I think are a little too direct, a little too finger in the chest. So let's look at these and see if we can rephrase them. Lisa, can you see them? We can rephrase these to make it sound nice, so it's not so painful. Let's take the first one. You didn't show excitement. How can we rephrase that? Rephrase that. So it's not so painful.
I would like to see more excitement.
Okay, good. Yeah, exactly like that. I would like to see so much excitement. How about the second one? I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You could speak louder a little bit, or emphasize.
I'd probably say something like, some of us may have difficulty hearing you. Doesn't that sound a little better?
Oh, that's their problem.
You didn't move. I'm sorry. You didn't move.
You need to move.
It's always good if you show a little bit more animation.
Uh-huh.
Use no visual aids. That's you the right fit. I'm going to take a little liberty with the
I
time.
would suggest in the future, if you want a topic like this, it might have helped you be more impactful if you can
Good.
Or you could say, do you know Claudia?
Another opportunity to rephrase this, use no visual aid.
Giving examples maybe of visual aids that work, because sometimes we want to help.
Okay? You use no visual aid. I like to see visual aids. It helps to support your point. Something you might want to do is, it's always good to show, okay, just some quick phrases that I've heard in this club in the last several weeks, and again, try and turn those phrases, think about how can I take the sting out of it? How can I take the pain out of it and make it sound nice? Again, positive and supportive, that's the theme of our meetings. Some phrases that I use. You've heard me say these before. I highly encourage you to. I would like to see you. You might want to try. Positive and supportive, right? Last thing, again, within Toastmasters, what we do is promote self-esteem. It helps us. Some of us have many challenges. We come in at different levels. You've seen Toastmasters come and go. They've been in sales for X amount of years, a lot of confidence, and they just want to improve just a little bit. Then we have some other Toastmasters that have significant confidence issues, and they're in a tough situation. They know they need to improve. They want to get better in front of a group. They're thrust. They have to get out of the cubicle, and they're thrust in front of a situation where they have to get out and provide briefs or presentations in the public, and they're challenged with that, so they come here to try and learn that. So everyone comes here at different levels. Positive and supportive, that's what we promote. So make sure we do that in our evaluations. Now, what do we not want to do in the evaluation?
Whitewash.
Your whitewash, exactly. Now, Ray, I'm going to ask you to expound on that. What do you mean by whitewash?
Artificially provide an exaggerated evaluation of something that the observer did not really observe.
With no substance.
There's no substance.
Exactly. No specific. They were great. That was fantastic. That was the best speech I ever saw. Oh, you're so wonderful. I can't wait to see it again. Something like that, right? Some of us may have seen that or observed that in other clubs, probably all of Moana. But we don't do that here in Waikiki. And that's one thing we want to avoid, is whitewashing. And we know all of Moana Toastmasters that come here are trained to do evaluations. Well, this is probably see that later on this evening. Again, point is, avoid the whitewashing. Also, avoid rehashing the speech. Sometimes we see that when the evaluator starts summarizing what we just saw. And I said, look, I just saw the speech myself. I was sitting in the same room. We want to avoid rehashing it. Again, as we covered earlier, pick those points, pick those learning points that the speaker could most benefit from and other Toastmasters can benefit from. Also, what if you have so many things you want to share, but you don't have the time? Meet with them after. Take them aside, offline, and sit down with them and share with them some of the key points, along with your manual that you got. I know. Okay, I'm taking liberties with time because a little bit of time here. Okay, wrapping up, there's a couple of things that I covered. Benefits of providing evaluations. Again, the speaker gets something out of it. The evaluator, they learn to be succinct and concise and deliver some type of impromptu speech, because they only have a little bit of time to put together their presentation. Also, other Toastmasters in the room, especially our friends from Ala Moana, they learn on providing evaluations. The methods that we use, again, it's not a conversation, it's a one-way conversation pretty much. It's the evaluator providing the feedback to the speaker in a short amount of time, 2 to 3 minutes. And lastly, some tips on how to give a good evaluation and what to include in your evaluation. Lastly, positive and supportive. That's what we preach here in Toastmasters when we have guests that come in and they see an effective evaluation. They're going to leave here thinking, I can take something away from this club, I can learn from this club, and that's why I'm willing to join.